Hello, everybody. Uh, yes, I'm filming at the living room at the dinner table. This is not where I sit on dinner. No, the door is not behind me when I eat, but I have no choice but to make it quick and film somewhere without anybody but here. So, well, let's begin. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Storytime. Well, yeah, I did get the first dose of the vaccine, but my experience wasn't easy. So, what I'm going to tell you is my experience when getting the COVID vaccine, but first, we need to know what a vaccine does to your body. Well, why you need to get the vaccine, what are the side effects of one vaccine, and what are the brands of the COVID vaccines. So let's start. What a vaccine does to your body is that vaccines mimic the virus or bacteria that causes disease and triggers the body's creation of antibodies. These antibodies will provide protection once a person is infected with the actual disease-causing virus or bacteria. But hold on, because if you're saying, well, I am pro vaccination, but other people should just get the vaccine. Well, the thing is that it is true, you might not get severely sick or indeed sick at all, but you could still pass the virus to somebody else who could potentially die. And Pfizer, the first ever vaccine developed back in mid December last year, is only 95% effective, meaning that people could be alright but maybe not. But also, the more the virus circulates, the likelier it is that the virus develops mutations that could be much, much more dangerous than the original COVID strain, which could also potentially evade vaccines completely, which just puts us back to square one. So you need to get the vaccine because not only does it protect you, it also protects the people around you who are much, much more vulnerable than you. So please get the vaccine now. Now, what are the side effects of the COVID vaccine? Well, the effects vary wildly, but we will just look at one vaccine, Pfizer. They developed the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine that is approved to be used among 12 to 15-year-olds and are created by the companies Pfizer Inc. and BioNTech. Now, the vaccine is under a different name, Comirnaty, but the brand name is only used among people 16 years and older. The side effects in the arm where you got the shot is pain, redness and swelling, while throughout the rest of your body is tiredness, headaches, muscle pain, chills, fever, and nausea. But don't worry because these side effects happen within a day or two of getting the vaccine. Those aren't just normal signs that your body is building protection and should go away within a few days. And now, the vital question: what are the brands of vaccines that are currently available in the Philippines? Well, they are Pfizer BioNTech, Oxford AstraZeneca, CoronaVac or Sinovac, Gamaleya Sputnik V, Johnson and Johnson's Janssen, Bharat Biotech, Moderna, and Sinopharm. Okay, now let's talk about my experience getting the first dose of the Pfizer BioNTech COVID vaccine. I first tried to get the first dose back in Wednesday, November 10 at La Salle Academy, and I had to go through a lot. First, I have to wait at the pre screening area, step 0. Then, step 1 was the waiting area, which is to get your form. But there must be an adult presenting as your guardian. You need to have a copy of both sides of your ID, and you need a copy of your birth certificate. But that wasn't how I got my form. I had to print a letter for consent because, my older sister, 18, wasn't considered as a guardian, and then a copy of both sides of my ID. Then an argument began, then eventually my ID got approved, and including the letter. But, oh, wait, hold on a sec. Oh, yung, yung. This was the ID of the letter. The letter. It reads as, I, Donabel A. Andalan, mother of Bryan Andalan, hereby consent to and permit authorized medical providers to administer the COVID-19 vaccine to my child without my physical presence. So then an argument began. Then eventually, both my copies of the ID, including this, got approved. But then I was hungry, so I ate my Jollibee lunch at 1:30 p.m. Then I signed the form. Then I had to go through step 2, which is to get registered. They just need to know your middle name. And then, boom, step 3, counseling. A person will tell you what are the side effects of getting your COVID vaccine. Then step 4A, checking your vital signs. But I didn't get my vaccine because of my mistake I did on step 4B, which is consultation, meaning a doctor is going to ask you questions about your health, what are you allergic to, what happened in the past 2 weeks, what happened 2 weeks prior to the consultation, and then many more. But here's where I messed up. I told the doctor that I got a runny nose with the color coming out of the nose being yellow. That happens every afternoon and evening, and it began on November 5, which does sound like I just got sick. So the doctor, understandably, denied my vaccination. Then when I got home, my mom got mad at me, explaining that it's just rhinitis and the work she just did was all for nothing, like making this letter and giving me 50 pesos worth of load. But I wasn't very sad because I also got to eat Jollibee. And quick side note, what I just said to you guys is now becoming a subtopic of gossip among my family, my family's friends, and my family's relatives. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means one of two things. One, your mom is still mad at you, or two, the topics to talk about just run out, and then your mom just tells that story to her friends, then just to find out if they laugh at the end, and tell her that you are being way too honest, which work 100% of the time. Then Friday came and we went back to La Salle Academy, and I was very nervous. So in my mind, I devised a plan. I just have to not go to previous people I got to back in Wednesday. But there was a big problem. Unlike the steps 2 to 6, where multiple people were in charge in step 1, only one table in step 1 were in charge, so I became way more nervous than before. But because the police got involved, many people, including us, got stuck to the gate, and then then we just left, and then with my mind going, oh my god, I just escaped red alert. And then we went back to the and we then we went to the barangay hall. But once we arrived there, the people eligible to get vaccinated there were people over 18. Well, we were below that 18 years, so we went to another school called the Iligan City National High School, where 12 to 17-year-olds can get vaccinated. But the line there was so long, and only 100 people could get inside. Well, there were more than 100 people lining up, and we were behind that 100 people threshold, so we just slept. But there was still hope. One of my mother's friends worked at a health center in the municipality of Lugait, which is pretty far, and my mom called it a last resort. So we went to the Lugait Health Center, and the things happened to me is that I got chills, a slight headache, and slight pain near the injected area. So that is going to be it for now. Oh, right, this. What's inside here is the band-aid that was used on the uh, on the vaccination. So that will be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know when will I get my second dose because there was no heads up. So please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and check out all four of these videos where I ate skyflakes, uh, drank water, got vaccinated for just 2 seconds and in vertical, and what was that? Right. Yeah, getting excited uh for the finishing of the first dose. The band-aid is inside here. Goodbye.